Hi everyone, good afternoon. How are you doing? Of course, you already know me. I'm Victor Fabian Usagai, your favorite realtor, right here from Misha Properties and Consultancy. And you remember I've been talking about Shortlet Apartments. Remember I told you that Shortlet is the biggest thing right now in the real estate market and is what we call the crude oil in the real estate industry. Today, I'm not just going to be talking, I'm going to be talking with someone, an investor, someone that has invested in a Shortlet apartment. Today is going to be telling us what he feels about the investment, how it's going, and some of the challenges put together. So please allow me to introduce you to my guest, Mr. Prince. Hello, sir.
Oh, hi Fabian.
How are you doing?
Not bad, not bad. How's it going?
Very well, thank God. Thank you so much for granting this interview.
No problem.
So, Mr. Prince here is the owner of a 3-bedroom apartment right here in Lekki. If you know Salem area very well, he owns it. And of course, I've been bringing clients for him and he's been enjoying, right?
Yes,
So, please tell our viewers, just tell us about yourself first.
All right, Prince Inusa. I'm actually an engineer. I'm a real estate investor. I invest in Shortlet Apartments as well as also landed properties and whatnot. But for some time now, since COVID, I feel like Shortlet Apartment has been one of the very viable sector to invest in. I've been in Shortlet business for almost 2 years now, and I can tell you for sure it's a very lucrative business and a very good way for to earn passive income. So Shortlet Apartments is not far-fetched or not so different from the hotel and hospitality business that so many people probably are aware of already, or people are conversant with. But then there's a little tweak to this, because Shortlet Apartment gives you a home from home kind of feel, because whereas in a hotel you are limited to what you can do. For example, with a hotel, for example, with hotels, you do not have that freedom or that liberty that you would have in a Shortlet apartment. Mind you, like I said earlier, Shortlet apartment is like a home away from home. So one of the things you stand to enjoy in a Shortlet apartment is the freedom of cooking your own meals. So many persons are very into homemade meals. So when you are in a Shortlet apartment, you have that freedom, you enjoy that privilege to cook your own meal, whereas in a hotel, you are forced to eat wherever the hotel is providing at the time. Secondly, you have a washing machine. So if you are not probably buoyant enough, or you probably like to wash your own clothes yourself, or you probably like to, probably because of the fabric, textiles or whatnot, you may not be giving into dry cleaning services and you may want to probably handle your clothes yourself. With a Shortlet apartment, for example, you have that liberty to use the washing machine that it's provided at the apartment, and Shortlet apartment still provides 24 hours light and security. So if you're a very private person and you may not want to be seen in a hotel, or don't want to be seen in a place that may probably rub off on you as an indecent person, a Shortlet apartment is a safe haven for you. So I'd like to recommend people to invest in the business, and also to patronize us, because we give you more luxurious feeling experience, much more than you would get in a hotel or in any other place. Because like I said earlier, Shortlet apartment is a home away from home. And also there are so many other services. Some Shortlet apartment comes with a dedicated staff or 24-hour services, depend on the type you want. So there are some of my other Shortlet apartments that I own that comes with a cook, comes with a driver, comes with a car. So it depends on what you want. If you want a car hire service, for example, so Shortlet apartment actually comes with it. If you want a dedicated cook, a Shortlet apartment comes with it. So it does depend on what you want at the time and what suits your budget. So there are different types of Shortlet apartments, ranging from 1-bedroom apartment to 5-bedroom apartment to complete completely detached duplex, 4-bedroom completely detached duplex, even 5-bedroom completely detached duplex. So it depends on what you want, the kind of gathering you want, and for how long you want it. So for example, if you want to throw a party, you want a house party, for example, or probably couples retreat or whatnot, whatever you want to do, you may not want to do in your private houses, because it's not everybody that are giving to strangers in their homes or in their apartments. So Shortlet Apartments is the right place for you. You know, you still have that home kind of experience, that home party, or house party kind of experience in another apartment. At least you know that you are safe. You don't bring strangers to your house, and you can use the Shortlet Apartment for a limited period of time, probably a 1 day, a 2 day, or a 3 days. But because of the fast rise of the business, most people do not accept a 1 day stay. So most times it's 3 days minimum stay. But then for parties, some people still will not allow you use their apartment for parties. But there are some apartments that would allow, but then they would have to increase the caution fee, because they may be
Damages.
prone to, maybe prone to damages, or there may be damages at the apartment at the end of the party because of the kind of people that may have attended the party. So because of that, a caution fee, high caution fee, may be collected, for replacement of whatever that may be damaged during the course of the party. Now, apart from that, there's also there are some Shortlet apartments too, like this one here that we are currently in. It has a PlayStation 4 games, so it is a good hangout time or good hangout experience with friends in this kind of an apartment, because you tend to not just enjoy the luxury of 24 hours Wi-Fi, internet, unlimited internet, 24 hours light, security. Also, there's an added entertainment, which is game and even sound system. So if you want to probably hang out with friends, have a good time with colleagues, may not necessarily be always going out to lounges, clubs. There's always a get-together. House party and get-together parties are also also a very good experience, and also a very good way to relax with friends and to have a good time. So you can also come to this apartment or come to any other Shortlet apartment and have a good time. Some Shortlet apartment comes with swimming pool. Unfortunately, this very one that we're in currently doesn't have a swimming pool, but there are some others that comes with a swimming pool, that comes with a gym, that comes with a snooker board, that comes with other forms of entertainment. Yeah, like Victor rightly said, in the real estate world, Shortlet Apartments is the next crude oil. So why I'm very sure why he said that was because of the fact that so many persons, the demand is becoming, the awareness first of all is becoming fast, widespread, as compared to as it was like 2-3 years ago. Prior to this time, I think Airbnb, for example, was one of the biggest vacation homes. It started off as a vacation homes, which prior to this time, so many people do not even know about it. Even in Nigeria, so many people still do not know about it, apart from hosts like me and some other hosts who happens to know or use the platform to get more of foreign clients. So the truth is about the Shortlet Apartments is there are good and bad times in the Shortlet Apartments. Good times, bad times, and it does depends on how you are able to manage and mitigate
The situation.
You need to learn how to maximize profits and minimize losses, because whether there's somebody in the apartment or not, you still have to pay for lights, you still have to pay for diesel, you still have to the running cost is still there, service charge and whatnot. The running cost is still there. It's a constant. Whether you have clients or not, it is constant. Of course, you still have to pay service charge. You still have to run the apartment.
I was going to ask you, Mr. Prince just demystified everything, so I allowed him, demystify the process for us. So I'm going to ask you, sir, you are an investor in the real estate industry. You own apartments, like you mentioned. You've also invested in land. So why did you decide to go into real estate investments? Why did you decide to invest in Shortlets?
All right. As we all know, real estate investment is the only viable investment that have stood the test of time all over the world. There is no billionaire or millionaire that doesn't have a piece of this cake called real estate. So real estate is one of the fastest growing kind of investment in the world, and it's very reliable, very sustainable.
So, but why Shortlet? Why did you invest in Shortlet Apartments?
All right, because first off, there is a high demand. There's a high demand currently for Shortlet Apartments, and also so many people are beginning to delve into that, are beginning to key into the Shortlet business. And apart from that, Shortlet Apartment, like I said, is a home away from home. They've been so many, as an entrepreneur, you have to look into the problems and find solutions for it.
Wow.
Prior to this time, I've known about Airbnb business for a couple of years now, say about 6-7 years ago. And I looked into the business model and I said to myself, I would like to replicate this business model in Nigeria. But at the time, so many people were not giving into Shortlet. So many people do not even know about it. So raising that kind of awareness wasn't an easy task, because at first you have to make people understand and know what it is before they can actually key into it. Because what they did not know would always be alien to them.
It's true.
So because of that, I gave it a little time. At the time, finances too was a very huge factor, a huge challenge at the time. Although I had this idea, called some few friends to join me to invest, but they were reluctant at the time because they were like, oh, where there are hotels everywhere, why do I have to invest in a Shortlet apartment? But then with the growing numbers, with the growing trend, way back in 2015, I needed to throw a house party, and I needed an apartment that could fit in all my friends at the same time, that we could have a swell time, all fun. But we couldn't get. And some of my friends, they kept suggesting, now why not check Airbnb? Why not check Airbnb? And I'm like, oh, what's Airbnb? And they explained, and it made so much sense to me. I checked a few apartments then on Airbnb, but at the time we had, I think I didn't see up to 10 apartments in the whole of Nigeria.
Wow.
That was listed on Airbnb at the time. And
wow.
So my curiosity increased. I couldn't get the apartment at the end of the day. I just used one other options. Yeah. At the end of the day, we all slept in a hotel and we stayed in different rooms. The phone wasn't maximized. I wasn't happy because that was not what I wanted. Now, after my birthday, I started doing research. I looked into the Airbnb business model and I found out that it was a very viable business model. And also, it is just like Uber, for example. It's profitable to both the hosts and the guests. So looking at such a business model, I needed to replicate it in Nigeria, and I was so passionate about it. Call up a few friends, told them about it. At first they were reluctant, but 3-4 years after that, they were the one that even called me to say, Prince, the Shortlet business is booming.
Wow.
I've checked Airbnb lately and there are so many apartments listed on Airbnb. I think it's something we should invest in. So having such a feedback from friends, I got encouraged again.
Wow.
And looked into it, and we picked it up from there. So for about 2 years now, we've been running the Airbnb, the Shortlet business, and it's been very, very lucrative business. And so many people are actually delving into it. So many people are actually looking at using Shortlet apartments or having homes listed on Shortlet apartments. So it is actually a very viable
investment. Okay, Mr. Prince. With the trend and the high demand of Shortlet apartments, especially in Lagos, do you feel it's gradually taking out the hospitality business? Do you feel people prefer Shortlets to hotels?
That's a very good question, and I would answer this question with an experience. Just a few weeks ago, some of my friends were around, and they obviously came from a state where the Shortlet business, the Shortlet business is not everywhere, is not still everywhere up till now. So when they came to Lagos, I advised they take a Shortlet apartment, but they were still strong-headed on it. They're like, oh, they are used to hotels already. I said, okay, it's fine. So they went to several hotels, and they told, it was a weekend, and I told them it was fully booked. So I told them that, you see, you guys have to come check out my Shortlet apartment. And when they check out some of my apartments, they were mind blown.
Wow.
They were mind blown. They were like, oh, we can't have this, we can't have all these in the hotel.
Comfort, yeah.
Because one of the apartments I took them to had like a snooker board.
Wow.
Had like a swimming pool, had a gym, had a sea view. You know, I took them to another one. It had a PlayStation 4.
Wow.
You know, it was just a home away from home.
Great.
You know, so at the end of the day, one of them really likes to cook. I was like, oh, I wouldn't have been able to cook.
Do you
if I was in the
understand?
hotel.
Exactly.
You know, I wouldn't have. And another of them were like, I have some pack of dirty clothes. And if you're in the hotel, you pay so much to laund these clothes. But now you have like a washing machine, and you can use it to, you know, wash your clothes at no extra cost. You know, there's a rice cooker. There's other amenities in the place. You know, it has 24 hours light. You know, because that was one of their concerns. They were like, oh, does this place have 24 hours light? I'm like, yes, it has 24 hours light. You know, the security is top notch. It was in the highbrow environment. You know, some of them had very good view. Like the one I had in another place had a sea view apartment.
Wow.
The one that we are currently at, you can check, it has a very nice view just out here. So, you know, they really enjoyed it, and they told me in confidence that they would like to invest in it. And one of them is so strong. He has been calling me every day like, oh, how much does this go? You know, we'll be going through the financial analysis about the business, and he really is interested in investing in Shortlet business.
And that's a smart one there. That's a smart person. So, sir, tell us, for someone that is coming into the Shortlet business, what does it entail? What are the processes? What are the challenges put together?
All right, so the first thing I'll say, Shortlet apartment or business is not far from hospitality. In fact, it is a type of hospitality business.
It's hospitality.
So, you have to be hospitable.
That's true.
You have to have your own qualities. You know, it's not just about the business. Shortlet business is not just a business. It's about giving people quality experience. It's about you being very hospitable, and also it has a lot to do with your character, your behavior, than more of the money. So first off, if you are someone who is not hospitable, you may probably need a manager to handle your Shortlet, because it needs a whole lot of perseverance, patience, and tolerance, because some guests can be, you know, you have different people with different behavior. So that's that for that. Then let's look at the financial aspect.
Okay.
Shortlet business can be very capital intensive. In all honesty, it can be very capital intensive, and this is why the rate of the inflation lately, the rate of inflation has affected the prices of so many things. You know, Shortlet apartment is beyond renting apartment. It also goes beyond furnishing the apartment. It is about providing certain services that runs 24 hours. And one of those services that run 24 hours is light. It's power. Yeah. And we're in a country where you know how it is. So without mincing words, I spent over 150,000 naira for lights monthly. That's monthly? Yes, in just one of the apartments. In some other apartments, in Safe Court, for example, we spend over 200k for lights. Monthly. Yes. And that's constant power, 24 hours. So whether there's a guest or not, you would pay. You pay. That's you're paying to that's service charge. That's not service charge. Okay. Service charge is for probably cleaning maintenance, generator maintenance, security, wage, and you know, probably cleaners, and you know, other little things. You know, service charge is paid monthly, but in some apartments you pay yearly. So if you are not financially buoyant, you will not be able to handle such, because some service charge ranges from 60 to 100,000 naira monthly. That is not par. So par is different from service charge. So if you put service charge, par, and whatnot, you are spending over 200,000 naira monthly. So these are constant Because when your guests come in, you don't tell them don't turn on the AC.
Don't turn the AC.
You don't tell them don't turn on the water heater.
Sometimes you're not even there.
And then some people would even turn on the AC, water heaters, and leave.
It's true.
So all of these things affect the cost. So Shortlet's business is quite capital intensive. And the initial cost of furnishing, of course, that's why you have to buy durable furnitures.
Yes.
You have to buy good televisions. You have to buy, every other thing you are buying has to be durable. Furnishing, and your kind of furnishing it. Okay. So furnishing now with current inflation ranges from 5 to 10 million, depending on your taste.
Yes.
And you don't want to furnish in a funny way that will not attract
clients. The end point, the essence is to get more clients and make them very comfortable.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly. Great. And also to give them a luxurious feel. Exactly.
Yes.
So if you are going to offer that, it comes at a cost. It's not cheap.
It's true.
Exactly. And domestic staff too, to come clean the apartment, routine clean up. If you need a cook, if probably the guest requests for a cook, although it comes at an extra cost, but those are domestic staff. They have to be paid at the end of the month regardless.
Great.
So it's not cheap, but the truth is it is actually a very viable business. Because Shortlet Apartments is good when you have clients, when you are known already in the business, and when you have a lot of clients coming in and staying for long stays. Wow. It's not good when someone stays for one day, and that's why so many people will not even accept a one-day stay anymore. They started accepting minimum of 3 days.
3 days.
Because it's the same costs that you'd spend, especially if you are staying in probably a kind of serviced apartment where it's a constant charge you are paying, whether or not there's a guest or not.
So
exactly.
There's a constant fee and charge
that
you pay
every day.
Great. So I was coming to that. Okay, Mr. Prince just told us that for you to have a Shortlet apartment, first it must be furnished. You must have an apartment first of all. Then it must be furnished to taste, at least so that your guests or your clients, when they come in, they'll feel comfortable and have that quality experience. So I'm coming to this question now. How is the demand like? Do you always get clients? Do people always call you for bookings? How is the demand like? Are there times when your apartments are just empty?
Okay, so it still depends on the time. It still depends on the time of the month or time of the year. Now there are peak periods and there are periods that are not peak periods. All right.
What did you call it? Peak
periods.
Peak periods.
And there are some periods that are not peak periods.
Great.
So peak periods, for example, November, December, those are peak periods.
Fully booked.
And there are some periods that are not peak periods. So if I mean peak periods, there are periods where you know that your apartment will be fully booked. And even when it's fully booked, people are still calling. Those periods are majorly towards the end of the year, November, December. And also selective times of the year, let's say during summer, from July, August. Now I've already started getting bookings from people coming in from abroad, from United States, from abroad, majorly. They're coming in for summer to celebrate that summer period. Just same way they come in during December, Christmas period to celebrate Christmas. So we're already getting such bookings already. And also during some other festive period like Easter, like Salah, those times some people want to celebrate in a grand style. They're traveling to another state, probably coming to Lagos to enjoy the Easter holiday or to enjoy the Salah holiday or whatever they're coming for, But sometimes in between those times, sometimes you get bookings. So, but then do not be discouraged. Do not be discouraged with whether low peak period or high peak period. Regardless, there's always bookings. Some people may come stay for 2 days, 3 days, but those high peak period, like I've said, you are sure
you're sold out.
You are sure, exactly. As soon as one person is checking out, you are getting another guest. But then it still depends on how well known you are already and your reviews. Mind you, reviews matters a lot in this business. And sometimes a review may be online review and offline review. So you do not take for granted, do not say you have a lot of online reviews. So because of that, because your guests that are coming in, sometimes they're not coming in just from your online. So there are sometimes your online platforms where your apartments are being uploaded, you are not getting any clients. You're not getting not just reviews, you're not even getting clients. You're not getting clients from there. You may get clients from one person that have stayed in the apartment.
So that's the referral,
word of mouth. Exactly, word of mouth referral. So you need to get both online review and offline review for this business. Exactly, for the business to grow. So I advise people, whenever you have anybody in your apartment, treat that person as this person is your only guest and your last guest. Because when you treat that person like that, it gives room for expansion and for continuity. Why? Because that same person would actually call his or her friends and say, this place I stayed, it was very nice. I preferred it to a hotel. I really want you to come next time, or next time I'm coming here, I'll definitely come by your apartment. So you have to, and also you really have to have a way of stepping up your game every time.
Great.
You know, sometimes if, like here now, it has been repainted, you know, so you need to learn how to maintain your stuff, to always make it look sharp, always make it look good, and also your place have to be very neat and very clean.
Great.
Yeah, so those are the things that you do to actually get people. So it's not about, in as much as the high peak period, like I said, and low peak period, you still have to, you know, you have to be known in this business to actually get people. That's some people that have been in the business for over 10 years. Yeah, there's some people that have been in as much, and that time they didn't even know that, but because of the fact they've been in business for a very long time, they're already credible. They already have some sure clients. There are some people that may stay in a Shortlet apartment for 1 year. You heard that an apartment has been fully booked for the year.
Yes.
There's some apartments like that. There's some apartments that are booked for 6 months, 3 months. Yes. You know, and you know, with these companies that brings in experts from abroad, sometimes they use Shortlet Apartments to host their experts. Exactly, because they may not. Some experts are not really comfortable with hotels, and some experts may come with their wife and children. So if they're coming like that, and probably they're looking for a place to stay for 3 months, pending when the company find them a befitting accommodation, they may stay in they will want to stay in a Shortlet apartment.
That's true.
So you have to be known, really, like I said, to get to that level where companies know you and they bring their staff, their experts to your apartment to stay. Or it may not even be experts, maybe that they are bringing in another staff from another state to a new place, to where their new branch, probably in Lagos, probably they are transferring their staff from one place to another. And before the person settles in, before the company arranges the accommodation and whatnot, instead of staying in a hotel, they may opt in for a Shortlet. Yeah, another thing that you have to understand is that marketing is a very important and an integral part of the business. Because if you don't do as much marketing, so thank God for social media, we have the likes of Instagram, Facebook, so you can actually do like sponsored ads on your platforms, on any other platform that your apartments are being uploaded on. And also offline marketing. It's not only online, like I said earlier, online and offline reviews. You have to still get online and offline marketers. So offline marketers, this is where real estate agents comes in. Like you, for example, you have been able to have enjoyed that benefits from you, you know, bringing in a guest for me. So like I said, marketing is an integral part of this business, because the more marketing you do, the more clients you are expected to get. So like I said earlier in the other one, online and offline review, so same way marketing, you have to have online marketing and offline marketing. Thank God for social media, where you could actually upload your apartments on Instagram, Facebook and whatnot, and all the platforms. And you can actually do online marketing, online sponsored ads and whatnot on that. But apart from that, there's an offline part where you need real estate agents to actually help you, because the truth is, in this business, you have to corroborate.
Hand in hand.
You have to work hand in hand with other people. Because the more people that are helping you market and helping you tell people about it, the more clients that you are prone to get. Exactly. So you really have to indulge and engage, marketers both online and offline. It's a very you even have to have a digital platform. Apart from digital platform, even a digital digital person to probably handle your social media, and also probably create content for you. Also design, because sometimes you need to probably design, probably your place is available, for booking and whatnot. All of these things, comes at a cost, and it's actually one of those things you should do that is needed in the business, for the business,
because it's actually a business.
Exactly.
So for those of you watching, it's actually a business. You're not just investing. It's not not a part of those kind of real estate investments where you just buy a house or buy an apartment and just leave. This is a business, and it's bringing money for you. And as it's bringing money for you, there's also what they call running cost. You also have to invest in the business to make it bring more business for you and to make it grow. So Mr. Prince, I'm going to ask you, what's like the longest duration of time you've ever had that probably your apartment was empty or was vacant? Are there times that is it up to 3 days, 2 days, 1 week, 3 weeks, 1 month?
So like I said, in those low peak period, right? Sometimes the apartment may be empty for 3 days, 4 days.
So
3 days.
Max is 3 days, 4 days.
Yes, 3 days.
3 days, 4 days. So I mean, if your apartment is empty for we have 7 days in a week, and you just have like 3 days, 4 days in its, and I quote, low peak period. So you can imagine in 7 days you still have your apartment booked for like 3 days. So you're making money. You're making money in that 3 days. So that's something. What do you think? So I'm going to ask you this question, sir. What are your prices? What are the prices? What are the prices like?
Okay, so the prices varies. It varies, and in Lagos, let me use Lagos for example. Lagos have different regions, and the cost of probably houses in VGC in Ajah region is different from the prices of houses in Lekki, it's different from the prices of houses in Victoria Island and Ikate. So those factors actually affect our rates, our pricing.
Wow.
So an apartment in Ajah, for example, can be going for 40,000 naira, say a 3-bedroom apartment, for example. And
is it a room?
No, 3-bedroom.
The whole
The entire 3-bedroom
okay.
apartment. We're going for 40,000 naira in Ajah. But in Lekki, we may be going for 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, depending on the place in Lekki. Because Lekki, it's divided into Ikate, Mawa, Agungi, and whatnot. So all of these places have their different prices. So the region is actually an important aspect when it comes to pricing. So, and also there's something I omitted whilst I was talking about the costing of how capital intensive. Exactly. So the truth is, houses, if you're trying to get a place, you have to get a place around regions where it seems to have like more proximity to city center.
Yeah, it's accessible.
Everywhere in the world, proximity to city center is a key thing when looking at an apartment, when lodging an apartment, because you have exactly. So, and in Lagos, for example, proximity to Lekki is a very important factor.
That's true.
So the closer you are to Lekki, the more expensive the apartment is.
That's true.
And the farther away from Lekki, the lower the prices. So those are like factors that affect.
So on average, how much do you give out to your Shortlets?
On the average. And another thing that affects the pricing, duration of stay.
Great.
Okay. So say I do a minimum of 3 days.
3 days.
Minimum of 3 days.
On that 3 days, say you're booked.
For that 3 days, exactly. My least apartment goes for 60,000 naira.
60,000
Yes.
For how many bedrooms?
For a 3-bedroom.
3-bedroom,
yes.
60,000.
Exactly.
Great.
Say for a minimum of 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah. But if that person, for example, wants to do 1 week, I could give a discount. There's always a discount for 1 week and above. So if you want to stay for a month, there's another. So it depends on how long you are staying. So that's what affects the prices too. And depends on the region, like I said. My apartment in Ikoyi or in VI, for example, goes for as high as 100, 150,
Definitely.
200,000,
Definitely.
depending on, and also still depends on how the place is furnished.
It's true.
You know, furnishing too actually makes. So if peradventure you have an apartment in, say, even in a place that is not like an highbrow place, but the place is well furnished, you know, the pricing may slightly competes with prices in
So you can find in all these places.
highbrow place. So
Great.
it depends, and also, like I said, also depends on the structure of the house. Is it a flat? Is it a fully detached duplex?
Wow.
Because if it's a fully detached duplex in VGC, for example, VGC is a bit far from Lekki, for example, it may compete with the price of maybe a 3-bedroom flat in Lekki.
Definitely.
Because it's fully detached duplex.
Yes,
So
yes.
all of these things affect pricings of Shortlet
apartment. Great. So, Mr. Prince, so let's say someone is watching now and is interested. Now, does anybody out there, does that person really needs to buy a house or an apartment to start this kind of business?
Oh, not really. So it depends. It depends on your financial capacity. All right. Like you have, for example, you're a real estate consultant and also you sell apartments. So it depends on the person's financial capacity. Now, there are 3 different kinds of people. I'll categorize them into 3 different kinds of people in our Shortlet business. The first categories are people who own houses and are based abroad. And you know, someone like me now, I can capitalize on that and say, okay, let's make money, let's collaborate and make money off this apartment. So instead of your apartment lying fallow in Nigeria, you're not doing anything with it, right? Because there are so many people, they own apartments, they own houses in Nigeria, and they are based abroad.
Exactly.
And the apartment is just lying fallow, it's just there, you know, when you can actually make money off your apartment.
Yes.
And also, I screen people who comes into my Shortlet apartment. So it depends. I know I have a kind of apartment that I know, okay, you want to just come and have fun or whatnot. I can allow some kind of people in that apartment. I can allow some kind of people just working class alone in some of my other apartments. You know, different apartments with different kind of people. I don't just allow any type of person in any type of apartment. I know the type of apartment that suits your gathering, that suits your type, that suits whatever you are coming to do at the apartment. All right. So if you're probably a family person and you probably you don't want your apartment misused, and probably you're based abroad, you know, I would want to collaborate with you. I'd like to partner up with you and say, okay, I can help you manage your apartment. I can help you manage the business. You know, this is what it entails. This is how it is, and this is how much you get monthly from leasing out your apartments for Shortlet business, instead of just leaving it to lie fallow. That's the first categories of people. The second category of people are people who are actually they probably buy apartments, they buy houses, you know, probably to buy to resell, or probably to buy to just keep, you know, to just amount wealth and whatnot. But whatever you're using, those people, they just like to buy properties. They have the cash, they are financially buoyant, and they have the cash. Those kind of people now, they can buy Shortlet. They can buy a 3-bedroom apartment. That 3-bedroom apartment that in fact, you can consult and rightly tell them how to go about it, because I'm very sure you have a lot of 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom in highbrow regions where they can actually purchase these apartments, and you know the prices, the price range for these apartments, so they can actually buy. But there are other kind of people who may not be up there yet financially, and they still want to invest in the business. So you can rent.
Wow.
You know, so many landlords and so many house owners, they already understand that so many people use these apartments for Shortlets.
Wow.
So they already understand that, they already know that. So it is not a big deal if you rent an apartment, because the truth is you're going to make as much money to pay for the rent for the whole year and still make profit of it. So many people, I advise them, if you don't have enough money to buy an apartment, you can rent an apartment and use it for Shortlet. If it is rent the apartment, furnish it to tastefully taste, then you can lease it out and use it for Shortlet.
Wow.
And also, there are some people who may not want to get involved with the day-to-day running of the Shortlet Apartments. That is what I come in it also. In as much as I have my Shortlet Apartments that I own, I still manage for people. So if you actually want to come into the business and you really do not know how to go about it, of course you can consult with me. You know, I'll be happy to manage, walk you through and help you manage manage the property. And we talk terms. If you want it weekly, if you want your money monthly, however you want it, we talk terms and we work out modalities, and
and then you're good to go. So one thing you need to get out of this is that, say, in case some of you have properties in Nigeria and maybe you live abroad and you just come once in a year, twice in a year, and after you're done, you lock up that property and you just go back to your place. That property is left there doing nothing when it can be making money for you. So this is where we're coming in to tell you that, that property can make more money for you. Let's come to an agreement. Bring the property, tell us what you want, make sure that your valuable documents are with you so that we'll not hear stories, and let's come into business and do business with you. So before I let Mr. Prince go today, I just want to ask him the challenges. I remember when I put up his apartments, funny enough, on my platform, I had almost 3 bookings that day. These people are coming from abroad and they want to stay. But the one question that all of them seem to ask me is, what about security? So I'm going to ask you, sir, what are the challenges in running a Shortlet apartment, especially security and all?
All right, so one of the things I look into before taking any apartment or renting any apartment for the Shortlet business, I look at the environment. One, I look at the estate. I don't just rent apartments in just any place. I ask questions and I make sure that they are in prominent estates, they're in good estates with very good security, and also they are in a very good environment that is free from touts and very quiet. Like as you can see, this environment, for example, this is just very close to Nikon Town.
Yes.
So you can imagine the kind of security we have here. It's very secured, but very close to this place. We have House on the Rock, we have Salem. So this region is a very serene and very secured region. So that is one of the things I look into before getting any apartment for Shortlets. Sometimes it's a hassle trying to, because I don't just want to rent anyhow apartment. Then I also rent apartments that have like this place, for example, we have a mobile policeman that comes in every day at night. To ensure that this place is secure. And most of the security outfit here, they are employed by good companies, reputable security outfit companies. Well trained. So we have well-trained security men. We don't just, it's not just one unskilled security or untrained security person. We have skilled, trained security from a very reliable security outfit. So that's one of the things. Then another thing is most of the places where I have my Shortlet apartment, it's call to access. So if the person currently living in the Shortlet apartment did not call to authorize you to come into the estate or into the apartment, you can't come in. You can't get in. So it's a very secured. Most of the apartments that I take is very secure.
Very secure.
Exactly. Another challenge is water. Lekki environment, they are plagued with bad water. So exactly. So it's another thing I look into before taking any apartment. I make sure that the water that is running in that apartment is clean and treated. So all of my apartments have clean water running. Clean treated water running. Exactly. The another thing I look into the lights, the environment. That's why I prefer serviced apartments. I don't just want to. I don't just rent any apartment where you probably buy your generator and you're running your light yourself. No, I don't like that. I prefer a serviced apartment where I'm very sure 24 hours water, 24 hours light is running. That is the kind of apartment. So that's just one of the things. But for challenges, one of the challenges we have is badly behaved guests.
Hmm.
So some guests are badly behaved.
Please tell them they are hearing you.
Some guests are
Badly behaved.
and they can be a thorn in the flesh. So why I say this is this: some guests are how would I put it now? Okay, they may get your stuff damaged. I understand that your caution fee is supposed to take care of that. What if they damage something that is more? Caution fees, for example, ranges from 50 to 100,000. And they damage your smart screen TV that is almost 1 million naira.
Can you imagine?
What do you do at that point? Would you arrest him? Do you fight with him? Apart from that, some guests may exceed checkout time and they will not want to check out at the time they should check out. What do you do at that time? You know, some guests, you may tell them no smoking in their apartment and they smoke in their apartment. Some guests may even cut away with your with your property and you may not even know. Yeah.
Wow.
One of the toys in that room now is missing.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the toys in that room
yeah,
is missing.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes you may not pay attention to these details until you have refunded their caution fee before you find out that something is missing here. Something. So what do you do? The extension, there was one extension I just took inside, is bad.
Wow.
I don't know whether they were fighting with it. The extension is bad already. So some guests are very, very dirty. Some other guests are very dirty. So of course, in as much as you have like a cleaning service that comes in, daily or once in 2 days and whatnot, some guests can be very, so those are the things you really look into, So that's one of the challenge too. Another challenge is when probably there's a power failure due to maybe faulty generator.
They start calling you.
The guests start calling you every minute.
Every minute.
You have to be very patient. That is why I said the hospitality business goes beyond just making money. It has to. You have to be hospitable. You have to be. You have to always give a listening ear to your clients when they are in challenge, when they have, because some clients may even ask you for very how would I put it now,
outrageous demands.
So not just, if it's outrageous, it's even good. Some very weird demands. Very weird demands.
It's true.
You have to be calm. You have to be polite. You have to be extremely polite to either turn them off or tell them, or just to put them off.
Great.
So these are the things that you really have to put into consideration. Exactly, before running. And if you cannot run it by yourself, like I say, always hire a professional to help you run it. You still get your return on investment, and the return on investment is great. It's very nice. Exactly.
So guys, you've heard it all from Mr. Prince. Let's talk about the challenges. He talked about water, he talked about security, he talked about dirty guests, talked about badly behaved guests. Do you understand? So overall, your last word now, do you think that Shortlet is a big deal? Do you feel it's a good business for anyone to invest in, Mr. Prince?
Well, truth is, it's a very good business. In fact, I don't even want you guys to even invest in that.
So that you'll be making all the money for yourself.
But anyways, it's actually a very good business. I advise you guys to come into the business. It can never get saturated. That's one thing I would assure you. It can never get saturated, because I tell people variety is the spice of life. So we have so many of you guys coming in with fresh ideas, good ideas. We can actually move the shortlet industry to a whole new level. That's from 5-star hotel now. I'm hearing there are 7-star hotels.
Definitely,
so we can start, maybe we can start adding stars to our shortlet business. Maybe we can move it to a new trend, and also it's actually a good business. Like we have said here, come in as an investor, come in as a guest. However, it's a very good business, and we're looking forward to having more of you in our space, in our business, and that's just it. So it was a nice time having you.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Prince. Thank you so much. Mr. Prince is the owner of this apartment. It's a 3-bedroom apartment right here in Salem, Lekki, and it has several apartments here in Lagos, Nigeria. So for more bookings, if you want to book this apartment, just reach out to me. I know the apartment. I'll bring you here myself. Thank you so much for having us here. Please follow me on all social media platforms, and of course, subscribe to my channel and click on the notification button to get updates on our videos. Thank you again. God bless you. Bye.